this gun here. Let me just start fucking shooting it out the window. All right, for gratuitous vomit sound effect.
Hey, everybody, I'm Kevin McLaughlin, and this is the Riffs and
Rhythms podcast. I'm Paul Robertsons. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
I'm
Doing great. Yeah. Paul is having, he needs some medicine because he's in his dual personality mode today. He is Paul Robertsons.
Yes. So, yeah, would you, Dr. McLaughlin, would you please prescribe me something?
Yeah, absolutely. I got a whole stack of stuff I'll give you.
Okay.
And a coupon at the store. This is the guy you want to go to is on the corner, and his name is Hector. He'll be the really jittery one.
Okay. So we're where's it? Yeah, send me the address. Pin drop that for me.
Absolutely. Hector from Miami.
Isn't everybody named Hector from Miami?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
So, yes. So, please indulge me then on what I need to get rid of the Suns.
I have no idea.
Can you pour me a motherfucking drink? How about that?
Well, you can't talk to me that way.
Oh, I just did.
Well, then I'm not gonna.
It's not like I don't have other alcohol to drink in this place.
So let's go ahead and talk about how we get hooked up with this awesome liquor over here.
Yes, so our good friends at the House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits here, they always are graciously hooking us up with some Stolock whiskey. This is some good whiskey. Again, guys, we're no joke about this stuff. You see how easy it goes down, like a $2 whatever. And well, I didn't want to say the whole phrase there, buddy.
You might as well.
Okay, it's $2.
It goes down like a $2 whore.
Real good. So, yeah, so definitely check this out. Again, so big shout out there to the guys there. Mario down at our good friend Uncle Mario down there at House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits. They are a local distributor here who brings you great products and brings some new products. We talked about a couple other products last episode, too. We'll get into a little bit more. But this one here, Stolock whiskey there, made in the Ozarks.
Is it really?
It is. So it is. He was ready to grab the bottle. Fact check.
I'm gonna look at it. Well, I was gonna say it's
number 2. He's got to get his glasses on.
Number 222 from batch number 9.
So yes, dose. So it's like a Scotch. It's a Scotch inspired whiskey. So we know we can't say Scotch because it's not made in Scotland, but it can be very influenced and inspired by Scotch. That's why maybe you got a little bit of that flavor taste. So cheers. So thank you to the House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits for hooking us up with our normal juice. I tell you, on ice is just the way to go.
Yeah, now that you say the Scotch inspired, it does kind of bridge the gap between
a little peaty,
that Scotch aftertaste, and the Kentucky whiskey thing.
So we can talk about this and make this a whole Scotch and bourbon whiskey show, but that wouldn't be any fun. So
we got all kind of stuff to talk about.
Dude, we got a lot of stuff going on. So again, if you're watching this episode, it is we're already in September, and tickets started going on sale for the Riffs and Rhythms Music. I'm sorry, the Knox and Dunn.
Yeah, we got to get it straight, and we got to spell it right too, because apparently we didn't know how to spell Knox.
Well, you don't. You know what's funny though is you spent most of your education, a lot more than I did, in Florida school systems, and to know how to spell one of the names, I think is a governor was Knox or something like that. This is actually the name of the company.
There's a governor of Florida named Knox.
It's something like that. I don't know. I didn't go to Florida school. You did. So there's some story. I don't know. Go to the website. They'll tell you all about it there. But, yeah, it's some sort of reference to Knox and Dunn, a General Knox or his middle name or something like that. But, yeah, so Knox and Dunn is our title sponsor for Riffs and Rhythms Music Festival. See, I got better. I didn't kind of jumble the words there.
Paul does a great job. Drummers don't sing. They don't talk. But he's doing a great job right in front of people and everything.
I get nervous. Yes.
No, you really have come a long way. You're not a trained public speaker, and your public speaking is luckily done in private in this studio. How about our guest? Why don't we change the subject?
There you go. Let's get right into it.
We got an awesome guest tonight.
So coming from points unknown, actually originally from many points before getting from Iowa.
Yep.
And he come here many years ago, over 20 years ago, and him and I met I can't remember now what website or something, JDate maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so I met our guest and, we connected and we were like, hey, you want to jam? And he's like, hey, he's just new to the area. And we hooked up and we jammed a little bit at my house and had a couple people over, had a friend of mine who played bass, and we're like, this is cool. This guy is really cool. And we were reminiscing before the show here about a place called RJ Gators, which is no longer in business, right? So it tells you how long ago.
All the buildings are still there.
They look. Yeah, you could tell what an RJ Gators looks like. So now it's been taken over by a Duffy's or whatever else the chain is. But yeah, so and then I think it was kind of just odd, again, we lived a little bit of distance apart, the drive down and so forth. And then we had a couple hurricanes, I think, in the middle of that time frame too. And we just kind of, life happens, my day job kind of got involved and, just being very busy with the hurricanes and we kind of disconnected a little bit. And then I think for the power of the internet and Facebook, you start finding all these people again, some that, owe you money and whatnot. I'm not saying he does, but yeah. So let's introduce to the podcast here. Jose Rivera is a local musician here. We've got so much to talk about. He's done so many projects here. Glad you have him on the show.
Well, great to be here, guys.
Yeah. So also, I guess, AKA El Brujo. Did I say it right? As a gringo voice.
Close enough, man.
El Brujo.
Yes. So yeah, thanks for coming on, and we got a lot to catch up on, and obviously new stuff, and actually some of the stuff that you were trying to pull me into back in, was that almost 2020?
It was right before COVID.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, I was jamming with my friend Jason, who's an incredible guitar player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're hearing this, big ups to Jason.
Yeah.
And we needed a drummer. We had a bass player. I was doing rhythm guitar and singing a little bit. He was doing lead guitar. We needed a drummer. Hey, I know a drummer. And then Paulie came up, so we were jamming. Then COVID happened, and that was that.
Yep, for sure. It was a weird time, and I remember, talk about crossing because again, between when we originally referenced to when we first met and jammed to that time period, a lot of you had been involved in musically. You were performing in one of the bigger local bands here. Reggae rock kind of theme style, and a couple of other projects, solo projects now, and life's happened. A lot of things. You've got married and kids and all sorts of things, and like we all go through. And let's kind of take a step back here, right? So,
Okay.
You landed here in Jupiter, or in the Treasure Coast area. There, we started meeting, hanging out there, early mid 2000s, right? The kind of time frame.
The early 2000. I moved to Florida in 2003, and I didn't have a social network, so music was going to be it. And I don't remember what the hell website, but I was a guitarist looking for people to jam with. You were a drummer looking for a guitarist, and we connected. I drove down from Port St. Lucie, where I ended up, and yeah, I remember coming to your house and plugging in, jamming. We had a great time, and went out drinking, and then life happened, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we got kind of a little went our ways, separated, and so forth. And then again, I was, as we reconnected because of Facebook, and then just watching you perform. So are you familiar with Fresh Catch?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the in another lifetime when I used to do sound, I worked with Fresh Catch many times. Fresh Catch was always good for a big crowd.
Mm.
Well, we're still somewhat active. In 2018, we kind of stopped being a regular type thing. We all got married, started having kids, and we just had to set it aside for a while. Now our younger kids are old enough, so we still get together, we still jam, we play out a couple of times a year. So that's still going on.
Cool.
Those are some of my musical brothers. Fresh Catch.
So I think when you have that common, and you've been with a group of guys, and then you as well, Kevin, is like you're together and you go through a lot of life together too.
Yep.
There's certain things that you'll have a bond that lasts forever. And again, that's hopefully what that this show portrays. There's a camaraderie aspect of what we sit with. Everyone who sits on the couch is. This is a hang show. We're hanging out, talking music. We're talking with other people that we enjoy and want to sit with, and so forth. So. So now you're also doing some solo stuff as well too, and putting out your own music, right?
Yeah. Well, right after Fresh Catch kind of ended, the last show, quote unquote, was the Port Salerno Seafood Festival in 2018, and I collected my check from that one, and I went to rank at Studios in Jensen Beach, and I started my first solo EP. And once in a while, I'll save up enough money. If I got some songs written, I'll go in and put some more out. So, got a few things out there. And then a couple of years ago, I started just doing solo live performances, and just kind of between Jupiter and Vero Beach. That's where I'm at. Try to go out 3 to 6 times a month, so I can still do my regular job and my family thing, and I've been loving it. So can't get the music out of me, I guess.
Yeah. No. So when you were with Fresh Catch, how often were you gigging? I mean, the kind of when you have as musicians, if you are someone that has a full-time job and maybe other responsibilities, it's a tough kind of thing to balance, right? Especially you don't want to mess up your main income.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
So I mean, we were weekend warriors. Every weekend pretty much we were out somewhere, but we were pretty local and regional. Palm Beach. Once in a while, we'd go up to Brevard and everything in between. We played in Key West one weekend. We played in Jacksonville one weekend, but none of us were in a position that we could tour or wanted to at that point. So we just did one-offs here and there, and mostly local in the Treasure Coast, and did that for years.
Cool. So the going through, and how have you seen the music scene here change in the 20+ years now, right? You've been here.
Well, I would say there's definitely a scene. I love, now that I started doing the solo acoustic thing, to see that there is a ton of people that are doing the solo acoustic thing, and there are enough venues to keep a lot of people working constantly. So that's an awesome thing. So, big ups to the local venues that put music through the summer, where when the snowbirds are not around and the season might be a little slower, and they're still doing it. So it's encouraging to see that there's a lot of people that can do this for a living, and the infrastructure is there in Florida. So when I started, maybe that was around, but I didn't really see it. I didn't have enough confidence in my own musical skill, so I was a band guy, and stayed a band guy for years until somewhat recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in Fresh Catch you were playing bass, right?
I ended up playing bass. When the band started, I was already grown when I moved to Florida. And I was doing open mic stuff when I first started. And then I ended up joining a trio called Jamaico with Cody Rutland and Mike Blackstock. They're 2 local guys that I met in the open mic night. And we did that for a couple of years, put out an album, and we're somewhat popular. And then when that band broke up, I ended up gravitating to this other group of musicians who were coming out of other bands that had broken up. And by then I was almost 30. And I already done the band thing enough to know the bullshit that I would put up with and the bullshit that I wouldn't. So going into it with that mentality, I think helped a lot make it last as long as it did. Originally, I wanted to be a lead guitar player. Kind of learning on the job, and that's what I started doing. The guy that was playing bass, he played lefty upside down, but he was interested in being kind of a front man. So when he was doing that, I picked up the bass, and after a while, shit happens. The band kind of reorganized and needed a full-time bass player, and I ended up taking that spot. So kind of learned on the fly how to sing backup, how to sing lead while playing bass, and we made it work. We had all these gigs already lined up, including Espada de Lyric Theater years ago that we didn't want to give up. So we rearranged, we figured it out, and we got it done. So that was reluctant bass player, I guess.
I remember that show. I did sound for you guys that show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who haven't you done sound for?
There's a couple people in Wisconsin.
Oh. Hey, nothing wrong with cheese curds. So
Culver's.
Yeah, that's right, Culver's. That's It's like the most popular place my kids eat now in Jupiter here is Culver. So it's amazing all the places that move here and so forth. But would you kind of agree with like in that same time period, right? Is because I know you mentioned last week with Dean is that somebody got you back into performing, and so during the same time period, were you just mostly doing sound, or were you performing? Or you're doing both or whatever. So do you have the same opinion, thoughts that, where Jose was talking about was like the scene is much different than what it was 20 years ago for musicians to perform, whether it's original covers or just, gigging.
It has definitely changed a lot over the years. It used to be like bars, smoky bars that had a band from 9 p.m. until 2 a.m. And now it slowly morphed, and now it's outdoor tiki bars where you play, 3 to 6 or 7 to 10 or, 6 to 9. And it's a completely different vibe. There's still a couple of places you can play indoors, but at some point in Florida, somebody issued a memo that your bar is not cool unless it has an outdoor tiki bar where the band plays, and here we are.
And then when it rains, you get gigs canceled too.
Yeah, so it's
Summers are brutal.
Yeah, you just had one just recently get canceled. Was it with the other night or
Yep.
something?
Yep. The other night I was supposed to be up in Fort Pierce, and right before I left the house, I got the call.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a hellacious storm that came through yesterday. So
There was.
and again, you guys will never know what yesterday we were talking about because
We don't record on the same day that we release.
yes, or even yesterday.
Yeah, we didn't record yesterday.
That's for sure. So, yeah, I think that's kind of Jose is just talking. He doesn't know sometimes where I'm going with stuff.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Going through the area, same wise, right? When I moved to the Jupiter West Palm area in the 99 and then moved to Jupiter in 2002, same thing. I wasn't familiar with the area, the places. Maybe the place here in this area everyone talked about obviously was Square Grouper, which is nothing like it. If we were talking about that most recently, it's nothing like that is now, right? Where we were just at what was it? We were just at Square Grouper, just a couple Fridays ago, and it was like we walked in at 10:30. Place was
Wall to wall.
packed. So this was a band was BFD. You heard of them? Big F and D. I don't know, but
Not sure.
they played a lot of 90s stuff.
Okay.
And of course, it was crowd favorite kind of stuff. So
People of a certain age, man.
I know it's like,
Well, it was 10:30, so all the kids were done with their homework, and they came out to the bar.
that's right. They are back in school. So
Anyways, here's one the roll.
yeah.
So tell us about the stuff that you started releasing after the quote-unquote final show in 2018.
So I had a lot of songs that I've written that were in Spanish that really didn't fit the Fresh Catch vibe. And I kind of saved up a few of them. And I had my little 4-track Tascam tape recorder. And I've been making demos on and off for years. And I decided, let's do this right. And I heard about Raincat. And I met those guys. Oh, thank you, sir. I picked up a session gig one time for some commercial. I don't think it was ever released, but I got to meet the guys. I got to see the place and thought it might be cool to work with these guys. And I was 100% right. I think they're musicians, so they come from that perspective. They know their equipment, so there's no time wasted. I showed up. I did my homework. I had my songs written. I knew what BPM was going to be. I knew what instruments were going to be in there, and I had it charted out how we're going to do it. So we didn't lose any time. I didn't waste any money with those guys. I was able to, okay, I got a rhythm guitar track, get the drummer in there. And we were able to get I think it was a 7-song EP, mostly in Spanish, that I put out in 2018. More recently, last year, I had another little batch of songs, some in English, some straight up reggae, some kind of folky, and some more stuff in Spanish. And then I kind of released those little by little, because that's how the kids do it these days. Nobody listens to albums, I guess. So now I'm saving songs and saving money in my piggy bank to go back again and do another 3 or 4.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to listen to your music library, where could they do that?
All right. So JJ Rivera is my name on Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple Music and all the streaming platforms. JJ Rivera Music on Instagram, JJ Rivera Music on Facebook. Uh, there's so many Jose's out there.
And I think I asked you about that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you were playing at Blue Point. Cool. I was going to come by see you. You're like, no, that wasn't me, bro.
Yeah, there's a JP or JR or I don't know, some other initials Rivera playing out there. Never met the guy, but I'm very curious, man.
So it wasn't Jose. It was Jose B.
Well, you're not the first person. You know, I had other people tell me, "Hey, I was gonna go see you at whatever place." Hey, I'm not playing there. Who's J.R. Rivera? If you're listening, man, hit me up.
Yeah, you guys could
oh,
do a
yeah,
Rivera
duo.
and Rivera duo.
Duo. That'd be awesome.
Rivera squared.
Yep. Mm.
Look at that, folks. We were making bands happen here on the Riffs and Rhythms show here. So, but that was
I'm curious how you guys met.
Oh, that's an easy one.
it was a
That
Christian.
takes
It was
us
a
to
Christian. It
You
was a,
did sound for him?
I was
he would never.
I was doing a guest speaker engagement at a self-help
at an
program.
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, no.
And he failed.
Didn't take.
No, this gives Paul his chance to do the requisite mention of our podcast partner.
That's correct. Our shameless plug here for reference to our podcast partner, Brad Brock and the Jams and Cocktails podcast. There.
Love Brad.
So the Jams and Cocktails podcast has joined the B3 Podcast Network, which we're part of. Drums and Rums is part of. So we've got 3 shows on the audio stream. So Pandora, Spotify, Apple. You go there, you see 3 different shows now. We've rebranded the Drums and Rums show or stream to B3 Podcast Network to grow, right? And add more shows that it's not just drum related, obviously our show. Yeah. But yeah, so it was all Brad's fault, I guess, if you say it. So if you don't like the show, just blame Brad Brock. No, seriously though, yeah, Brad and we been on the show, and I know you've also been a guest as well too.
Where I met him.
Yep, and
Yeah.
and so Brad's the linchpin in the area there, connecting all the folks. And again, I think what he's doing, what we're doing, what everyone it just gels right, And again, we're all very close and good friends, and are all trying to help each other out. And again, this is what we're doing here. So big shout out to Brad.
Yeah, good story. Because the night we met, you had the Doc Brown rum,
That's right. Yes.
and he made this drink. I don't know what it was called, but it had a couple of fairly simple ingredients in it, and it was the best rum drink I'd ever had in my entire life.
Nice.
Thank you. So I think the only compliment I got was my cocktailing skills.
3 or 4 days later, I'm in Key West, and I'm like, that was such a great. They're like, hey, do you guys have like any dark rum? And they didn't have that kind of rum. And I'm like, well, how about whatever dark rum you got, and put this and that and this and that in it. And I had it, and it was Key West, so I paid like $15 for it. And it was the most horrific tasting thing I'd ever put to my lips. I'm like, I had to give it back. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm on a hurl if I drink this.
So we definitely want to give a shout out there. I haven't talked to him in a while, but maybe we got to get him on the show because I'm sure he's got some stories too. But we should probably get Doc Brown on the show.
There is a real Doc Brown?
That is it's his name. His name is Brown and so forth.
Back to the Future.
That's right. So it's called Really Bad Rum. That's
Okay.
That's the whole point, right? Again, it's
Marty, I've been to the future. They got really bad rum there.
so that actually is pretty funny. So actually, no. So yeah. So we had a whole did a little rum takeover night. We did a podcast takeover night at the Nitrogen Bar, which I remember probably right about the same time that after meeting you on Brad's show, as I came over to see you and Les Chavo play, and a little acoustic set thing, and then. I had done a show there. We did a live tape and a podcast. We did a rum takeover night. Again, it was all about trying to help connect. Again, B3 stands for bands, brands, and booze, right? So we're trying to connect these pieces together. We're all trying to grow together. Hey, maybe you have a spirits. If you're okay with that, and maybe you're promoting or being part of it. And again, you're tied in with that, and they can sponsor. Hey, maybe would you be okay if somebody paid you $100 a month to wear a Stolock whiskey shirt?
I'd be very okay with that.
See, that's so, yeah. So those are kinds of things that we're trying to, again, with our good friends at the House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits. Actually, something you're drinking there, is that so something we got there from good old Uncle Mario there, the Madai. I knew, like I said, when I grabbed it, when I left the house today, I said, I'm going to bring this. So he says, to one fellow, Mario's Puerto Rican, So again, to one Puerto Rican to another, I know Jose was definitely going to enjoy this because when people hear and they say, "You've got medalla light,"
That's Puerto Rican beer.
Salud. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
so
I didn't know they made beer. I guess they would. It's an island. You need if you're gonna have.
what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? What Puerto Ricans don't know how to make
Well, I've
beer?
just never been there. I don't know what it's like.
Oh, it's right. Yeah. Speaking of that, yeah. So we're doing a tour of Costa Rica. We're doing a podcast tour of Costa Rica. We're trending 29th on the music community podcast rankings.
As a matter of fact, 16% of our listeners are in Costa Rica.
There you go.
I know a guy there.
All right.
I'll give you the info before you.
You know, you're coming along with us. What are you talking about, brother? We need somebody who speaks Spanish for us.
Right? Do they speak Spanish in Costa Rica? Yeah, I would
I
think
think
so.
that's the official language.
Central America. Yeah.
I have no idea. Right.
There's a lot of gringo surfers down there.
Okay.
There are, yeah.
Everyone always talks about going to Costa Rica and so forth, right? So, yeah, maybe.
We all get shirts that say "Gringo Surfer with free rum,"
There you go.
and they'll like us anyway.
Yeah, they make a lot of. Yeah, they got rum in Costa Rica. I was thinking about. It's
I
like,
bet the rum there is awesome.
oh, dude, it's like living like Sammy Hagar in Cabo Wabo, right? He's living the life. I'm living in the edge of Mexico and California and drinking rum and.
I remember when that whole story came out about how Sammy Hagar found himself face down in the sand in Cabo and Van Halen was there. And then the whole thing ended up being, it was like his Margaritaville.
Yeah. I still want to go there just to say you've gone there.
Cabo was awesome.
You've been?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
It's awesome. That was
So-
the second, the second week of the Hard Rock Hotel. It was brand new Hard Rock Hotel in Cabo, and it's weird because you're not allowed to swim at the beach.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Great white shark?
Crocodiles.
It's kind of strange because the main thing that's different between the Atlantic Ocean, at least in
Colder,
Florida,
right?
and the Pacific Ocean, is that the western edge of the United States is a mountain range, and so the cliffs, it's like 20 feet out, it's like 100 feet deep. Here to get 100 feet deep, you got to take a boat for a half an hour, and still you probably never get. Probably take 4 hours to get to 100 feet. But in California and Baja, 100 feet deep is like arm's length out. So, and it's weird. You can just feel it. You're standing on the edge of the water, and there's nothing for like thousands of miles.
So that'd be definitely a bucket list. Though, but as far as like the Costa Rica stuff is, like thinking today was, man, it'd be awesome. Maybe I could talk Kevin into. We need to do a podcast.
We didn't
Rith-
have to
Rith-
talk me into it. It was like,
I know, yeah, it twisted you.
Twist.
Yeah,
it's a blast waiting to happen.
yeah. What does Brad say all the time? Don't threaten me with a good time. I know Brad's on board no matter what. So we should. I was thinking about we take the Riffs, the Knox and Dunn Riffs and Rhythms tour on the road. Can you imagine that? A traveling circus of.
Yeah, well,
Degenerate.
We're gonna bring Florida music to you. Okay, how
Jose
about
can be
that?
our interpreter, and we'll go ask the Costa Ricans what they like better,
right.
the riffs or the rhythms. What do you think is better in American music, riffs or rhythms? And I'd be like, you want to buy some jewelry?
Wow.
Right? Am I wrong? Come on.
Haven't been to Costa Rica, bro. I don't know.
That's the way it is in Mexico. As soon as they peg you as a gringo, they're trying to sell you some tin jewelry.
No, but yeah, we go to if we go to Iowa, he can definitely be our interpreter from Iowa because he's from Iowa too.
I lived there for years, but I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay, there you go. Well, see, he speaks Puerto Rican, not Costa Rican. We got to get a different interpreter.
Oh, forget it, Jose. You're off the show. We need somebody else.
I know a guy.
Okay, you know a guy. All right, that's fine.
Yes, you said that at the beginning. He knows the Costa Rican. But you're cousins, right? You're both Ricans.
Wow.
Right? Was that wrong?
Yeah.
Probably.
I worked
Sorry.
with this woman that had
Sorry,
a Puerto
all-
Rican father and a Costa Rican mother, so she was a Rican.
Yeah. Especially right before her shower.
Oh. Wow, we went off a win. Let's here. We went right off the cliff there
right.
in the
Just
Pacific
fix it in
Ocean.
post.
Yeah, fix
Yeah,
it.
we'll fix it in
No, there's no. As
no fixing this.
as Tracy has said, once the headphones are on, you're game.
Yeah, see,
That's
when
right.
you try to polish a turd, it just
Nope.
smears it in.
No, we haven't got time for that. I'm not good like Brad and can post, fix stuff in post. The best I can maybe do is put some overlay graphics behind. We're in. So whatever you say
This
is
is a low budget a low budget production. We've
right.
got like people ask me all the time, like, how do you get such great videos of your shows? I'm like, well, it's a complex process. I take a bungee cord and I strap my phone to the nearest tree, and then I press the big red button.
Does it say record? Are we
Well,
recording?
it's still that one says that's got a small red button. That's why I was confused.
Yes. You got small and well, yeah, you can't see the other one there. So
I'm not even looking at the right red button.
I think we're still recording on that one. So, and I think Tracy have to tell us about the other one on Jose. So, Jose, are we good? All right, you didn't
Still
go dark.
got the
You didn't
red-
go dark. Zero dark.
All
Thing.
right.
So, all right. So, Jose. So, let me. And I know we're going all over the place here, but let's kind of bring it back in here. So, we've got a segment here called, our MVP of the week, House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits MVP of the week.
The week.
So, do you have somebody who you want to recognize as an MVP? It could be somebody in your music, space. Somebody who maybe somebody who gave you your first guitar, your first lesson, or whatever it may be. Somebody helped you out. So, do you want to give us a little? It's like a shout out.
Someone
kind
to
of
open the
So-
gates to your music career.
Well, I'll give a shout out to Victoria Lee, and I know you guys know her. Back in the Fresh Cash days is when she was starting to be an acoustic solo performer, and she built her own empire pretty much. And last year, she's the one that hooked me up with my first few gigs when I decided I'm going to go do this solo acoustic thing. So if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gotten started because I had no idea where to start. So she hooked me up with my first few solo acoustic gigs. So shout out to Victoria.
All right.
Hi, Victoria.
yes.
Victoria's great.
Yes.
She lives down in the Keys now, doesn't she?
Yes, she does.
We got to get Victoria up here as
You got to do a keys.
No, we're going to the Keys. We're doing on location for
All right, well, there you
for sure. We're going to go to Fantasy Fest, so I can see whatever you're going to wear at Fantasy Fest.
Or not.
just the bandana.
You want to go to Fantasy Fest to see what I'm going to wear?
Well, yeah, we got a Patreon thing that we have to put stuff on there
I
for.
have been to Fantasy Fest,
I-
as you know.
Look, you've also
Twice.
part of Bike Week too, so many of those things. So I'm sure there's lots of things to see. So,
At Fantasy Fest, there's definitely lots of things to see.
but real quick though is about Victoria, right? So, so I was down in Key West a couple weeks ago for the Key West Rum Fest, right? So it's an inaugural event where it's sweating my balls, sweaty again.
Shreddy.
Yes, reference to last week's episode. And there was one of the brands who was trying to put on an event or whatever, and they're like, hey, do you know any musicians? I go, well, because he was supposed to come with me. And I said, well, if you told me 2 weeks ago, I would have had a musician for you to perform that he would have definitely, because now it would have been a paying gig rather than a drinking, spending money weekend with me, right? And but anyway, long story short, so somebody said, well, why don't you reach out to Victoria because she lives down there now? And I said, yeah. I said, I forgot about that she's down there. So I reached out to Facebook Messenger and said, she's like, oh, damn,
Booked.
I'm booked, right? Yeah. And I said,
It's
all
probably
right.
booked until 2027.
Oh, yeah, especially the places down there. I was like, yeah, everywhere there's the band. I mean, you can do pretty good if you're making pretty good side gig too.
They got acoustic solo artists in the convenience store down there.
Oh, I know. Well, it's like you go to Nashville. You've ever been to Nashville?
I have.
You go to the airport. There's somebody playing in the airport, which is again, it's kind of cool. So, yeah. So big shout out to Victoria. So Victoria, you're on the radar there. So we know we're gonna come looking for you.
We're doing on location at
So she
Gilbert's.
did. So which was cool was she did actually an event for one of the rum brands that I'm friends with, out of a Florida rum brand on the west coast of Florida. There, Naughty Beach Rum. That's the name of the rum, right? And Victoria did this. I'm like, I told the brand owner, I said, that's really cool. I said, I know Victoria, right? So again, it's like this again. Like I said, back to connecting all these dots. You know what I mean? So yeah, big shout out to Victoria Lee.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Paul Robertson, the Rumfluencer.
What can I say?
He's got it going on. I give him a hard time, but he does really have it going on.
Yeah. So if you are, I'm one of those ride or die people. If you're with me, I'm going to be in your camp and so forth. So that's why I'm, if I get back into playing with a band, trust me, you want to talk about the, posting and promoting and shamelessly and so forth. But anyway, so you may get a shitty drummer, but you're gonna have somebody definitely promoting the fuck out of your music.
Oh, well, you know what? Speaking of shitty drummers, I was actually impressed when we music history was made not long ago when he joined me on drum set and we sat in at the Treasure Coast Blues Society's
Nice.
sit-in night, and he was right on. I was like, wow, he can play drums.
Oh, thank you. Well, speaking of someone who's played drums with me before, right? He knows.
Well,
Well, tell Kevin the truth.
He can play.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I found that out because you've never been on stage on
No,
set
no.
with me before, and I was relieved. It was actually good.
Don't embarrass me, Paul. I'm the vice president of the Treasure Coast Blues Society. Do not embarrass me.
You are?
I am. I'm not just a customer. I'm the vice president.
Hey, speaking of that, real quick though, yeah. So you put a little blues band together, Puerto Rican blues, and we can sing about the trials and tribulations of whatever, and blues, whatever blues are for Puerto Ricans, and then you can go
Got
compete.
no
You go in-
electricity. There's no electricity blues.
but then you can compete in the blues challenge, and then go to Memphis. So
I ain't competing against this guy.
No, he can't. He can't perform.
I
He's
already won. I can't do it again. I'm out.
He can't repeat. So just put a blues band together.
Yeah, the Treasure Coast Blues Society is doing the local blues challenge at Hop Life this year. This year,
Speaking of Hop Life, end of September, Fresh Catch is going to be playing their 7-year anniversary. We're getting back together for that show.
Whoa.
It's Friday, September 27th. I think we go on about 7:30.
Wait, did you just drop some breaking news?
Yes.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Look at that, bro.
Band reunion anniversary alert.
That's right.
Whoop 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 whoop.
Is Kevin running sound?
No. I swore it off.
So, are you
We got a guy. We got a guy.
You got a guy? All right,
I
perfect.
have a
So-
guy. These are good. I saw them.
No, that's
last
awesome. Hop Life. All right, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. So we will put that on our calendar. And
Hop Life.
so let me ask you real quick. I asked Dean. We talked about this last week, and I know we're running out of time here, but like when you are performing, whether it's your solo, your band, or any of the points in between, when you see another musician that you're friends with or someone who's part of the community in showing up, how does that make you feel?
Makes me feel like I got to step up my game. But one thing I kind of found, if I'm honest with myself, I feel like I'm a musician's musician. I gotten the respect from my peers since I've started over here. I really appreciate that. I really love that about this community here. May not be the most popular with the folks out there, but the local musicians that see me play are giving me props over the years. So, I love and respect the hell out of that.
Awesome. Yeah, it's fun to see. And you just recently, was able to, on a rare Friday night off and saw Vern.
I know, and I bought a T-shirt and everything.
Nice.
So very cool. So as we wind down here, Jose, all right, so you got a Tales from the Road here. So what is some crazy story, Spinal Tap kind of thing? You got lit on fire, I don't know, or, you fell off the boat in the Fresh Catch video that you've got years ago. So what do you got?
All right, well, I won't say names to protect the not so innocent, but we played a gig in Melbourne one time. This is Fresh Catch, long time ago. And we're driving back on I-95, and somebody that's not in the band but joined us for the trip and had way better time than we did, pulls out a 22 and starts shooting in the air while the car's going down 95. Right after that, he leans out the window and starts puking his guts out. In the back, one of the guys in the band sees the puke on his window, and he gets green, and he starts. I'm driving over here because I've been band mom since Fresh Cat started, and I don't even have anything to say. I'm just trying to drive straight and hope the cops don't show up, and somehow we made it back to the Treasure Coast. So that's how the book's opening.
Wait a minute. There's so much to unpack.
There's a little bit to unpack.
There's a lot to unpack. There's a little bit. So all right. So okay. So you're driving down 95.
Yes.
You got people in the car shooting guns and vomiting, right?
Yes.
That might be actually the title of this podcast episode.
Shooting guns and vomiting.
Yes. So you got someone who wasn't with you. How big is this car?
This was a passenger van.
Okay, so all right.
We're pulling a trailer, so I'm trying to.
Oh, yeah, keep it in the.
Yeah, I'm white knuckling it down 95 after playing, a 3-hour gig, and that happens.
Do you have anything like that happen to you before?
If so, I shut it down.
I know,
So,
yeah, it's so
nothing's coming to mind.
It's back to the what Dean was talking about, the LGBT. Yeah, we got the guns part right there. So
Yeah.
so the guy shooting a gun was then started vomiting.
Yes. He had a great time that night.
I know, but he probably don't remember it, but except for everyone telling you how well it was.
Well, we weren't happy. We weren't stoked about that moment in our career.
Yeah.
Well, luckily we made it home and nobody went to jail that day.
That sounds so Motley Crue-ish, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Shooting guns
Wow,
out
this is going to be a
95.
long trip. I'm kind of bored. Can you roll down my window?
My iPhone is dead, so what else am I going to do? I got this gun here. Let me just start fucking shooting it out the window. I gratuitous vomit sound effect there was not a sound effect from our former producer Dino. So, all right, I love these tales from the road. They keep getting better and better, right? So all right, so Jose, do you got time to come back maybe next week to do another episode with us?
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right, so we'll go ahead and stock up more on our.
Better.
I know I'll get more. Don't worry, bro. Okay, I don't want you to get all violent and stuff.
What are you trying to say, bro?
You take whatever it is, man. So, all right. So again, real quickly here, where can people?
It's a drinking show. If we run out of beer for our guest, he should get violent. I think that's
true.
within
That-
limits.
Okay.
And now that we know that his posse is packing,
That is true.
we
That
need to
is.
have enough
It's
beer.
Florida, man. Everybody's packing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So do they have Florida man in Puerto Rico?
He moved to Orlando.
He's running the gun shooting place you see in the turnpike when you go to Orlando. Shoot an M60.
Oh, yeah, shoot real machine guns. I
Yes,
love
yeah,
that.
Yes, right. And then the next billboard is like anti-abortion sign too, which is great. But America, and Florida. So yeah. So again, where can everybody check out your stuff? Check out what you got coming up here in the next couple weeks here for shows.
So you can follow me on Instagram at JJ Rivera Music. Facebook, JJ Rivera Music. It's all the music's on Spotify. And all the dates should be over there on Instagram.
All right, very cool.
Out and about, all over the Treasure Coast.
All right, so I'm hearing he's got original music, Kevin. So I have a feeling we might need to be reviewing his
We
song.
absolutely need to
I
review.
sent you the links.
But we're not going to do it with you.
Although we have reviewed people's songs in front of them.
Well, but it was with your daughter.
Yeah, which makes it worse. But no, who else? We did somebody else in front of them. Anyway.
Okay, so again, low budget, Jose. Right. So again, we have very limited resources to people check emails and stuff. So apologies on me then, I guess, for not reading, seeing your links and so forth. So
We're good, Paul. We're good.
no, we're good. So,
Worry not.
Yeah. No, we
Shall
will
feature your music.
Yes.
No question.
So, well, like, with Bryce, we talked with Bryce and Chase, and we were dying to do their song with them. But timing-wise, the release of their new music and when they got taped was ahead of the other.
Understood.
So we held off, and we just didn't, just more recent after their album. So again, that's fair. That's fair, right? Again, we don't want to kind of spoil the surprise here. So
Yeah.
but
There's a lot of stuff going on here, man.
that's right. Yeah. So again, check out again. Here's somebody who goes way back. That I've known longer than this guy.
No, Paul, you were actually the first person I ever jammed with when I moved to Florida.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah. So
Salute, man.
yep.
So, JJ Rivera on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify. Do you do the TikTok?
I do the TikTok, but I'm not as active in there because I don't understand it. I'm old, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to get one of my kids to do it for me.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I keep threatening my kids. It's like, can you just help me with this stuff? I mean, this is your thing.
Skibbity.
So no doubt you're watching this on wherever podcasts are listened to. But if you're not on YouTube, you can see us. Riffs and Rhythms on YouTube.
Right.
We're on Spotify. We're on everywhere. We're on
So if
Apple
you're on
Podcasts.
Yep. So all those places you listen to with your ears or get this show with your ears is on B3 Podcast Network. So it's that cool logo I showed you last week with that Brad
the
Brock
speaker.
the speaker and the microphone and all that stuff. Again, that's
I
what you're
keep
looking.
getting confused as to what the 3 B's are.
It could be boobs too. That keeps coming up too. We can expand it to B4. And once you get a couple boobs in here, then you're looking at 2 boobs right now. So Um, anyway, so yeah, but yes, on the audio on the video YouTube side, the video side, it is Riffs and Rhythms YouTube channel, right? So we have our own channel. Brad has his own channel with Jams and Cocktails. Drums and Rums has their own channel with the video aspect, and then but audio we're all together.
Right, and then we're also on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on everywhere that things that you do are.
Right.
And then, of course, the big thing that we're promoting, again, is the Riffs and Rhythms Festival. It is a destination event.
Knox and Dunn Riffs and Rhythms.
Knox and Dunn Riffs and Rhythms Festival. We are going to be featuring bands that have been featured on the podcast. It is on November 23rd at the Scenic and
Yes.
theme park like Hobe Sound Farmers Market.
Nice.
Good old America.
We're gonna have the top notch sound and lights with our sponsor Thunder House Sound and
Love
Chaos
those guys.
Sound. They put on they put it on like professionals do.
John O'Connor.
John
Props.
O'Connor totally rocks. And we're gonna have there's vendor spots available. We still have a few sponsorships available. If you want to get your brand associated with a whole lot of cool stuff, you want to get with us, and we'll make you look good. I promise.
For sure. So I'm excited for what we're doing here, man. So let me just tell you this, Kevin.
We didn't do this yet.
We can, because I got one more thing here, and then you can kind of do that part, right? So this is actually episode 50.
Episode.
The big 50 that I turned recently.
Happy birthday late.
Thank you.
Almost there.
And just and again, I think we've already hit our 1 year from the very first episode.
No way.
Or we will be soon.
How does that work? It's episode 50.
I know. I was trying
Aren't
to.
there
I was
52
I
weeks
was trying
in
to
a
do the
year?
math, and plus we took I think December off last year too, or a couple
so
weeks
good
here.
at
So,
math.
but anyway, so new math.
More than 4, so
I
we
don't
don't,
know.
he doesn't
We're
know.
musicians, right? So, but yeah, again, I guess the point is like if we once we hit 52 here in a couple weeks,
We have to do something special for 52.
well, we are doing Sputnik Festival for 52. It's called a music festival.
Yeah, but that's
You can
more
do
than
something else?
2 weeks away.
We can do something else.
We should recognize the 52ness of our podcastery during an episode.
I say we go do a live stream while eating steaks at a certain place, right, Tracy?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's going to work out great.
If you want to know the reference, go check out our Patreon page, and we'll tell you the story about the steak place.
We
That's
could
all
do
we
that
got
as
to
long as we point the camera in a very limited manner.
Well, yeah.
All right, so then one more thing before we bring it to a close. I want to go ahead and mention the fact that the Riffs and Rhythms podcast is the primary sponsor of the Rising Star Concert Series, which you may want to become a part of.
Nice.
There is a super cool venue in Arcadia, Florida called the Herd Opera House. And this place is super cool for a number of reasons. It's old school downtown that got bypassed by the highway. Even the state road goes around it. And it's this epicenter of the best antique shops in the entire southern United States. It is a haunted opera house where they have haunted tours on the weekend. It's the southernmost operating opera house in the United States. And they have been cool enough to let us do a concert series there. And guess who the inaugural performer is for that? Me. And I'm very excited about this because this is the first time I'm doing a concert and charging tickets. And like the only reason to go there is me and then with special guest Jason Montero.
Yeah.
So it makes me very nervous because it's only an hour and a half away from where everyone knows me.
Tracy's looking for the little clap button somewhere on there.
But this is super cool. I'm really excited about it, and I'm hoping to turn it into a monthly event that features Florida original musicians who have music that has been released.
Right. So I saw somebody commented today about a little bus thing or something like that. So I'm really interested in that.
I haven't seen that.
So somebody commented on the post and said, "Hey, for those that can't, what about a bus or you pick everybody up And I responded back, say, well, how much did you pay for that? What was there? If you do the little, not Uber, but if you got a couple people like
got
you
a
did with the
party
Johnny thing, right? Which remind me
Well,
of the
if
next.
it's a bus, it would be Boober.
That's right. It's a band Uber, bus Uber. So,
Oh yeah.
ba-dum-ba.
Everybody get on that train.
So we had real quick though is remind me about Johnny. We'll talk about in the next episode about Johnny. He might be involved in something. We've told him about who knows.
Yeah, it's possible that
yeah,
we have a
may-
celebrity
yeah.
MC.
We may or not have been drinking and
He
he
shows
promised
up.
something. But yeah, so real quick though is maybe for those that can't make the drive out there or stay, maybe there's a little bit of transportation aspect of it.
Oh.
Kind of like what Duffy's does with the Dolphins games. Like, hey, you meet at a certain place, you jump on the damn bus, you get your bus ride down there, do your thing, get your ticket and all that.
I can see it now. We can have the KMB tram.
That's it. So, yeah, so we'll talk a little bit afterwards again. So, again, this
Ladies and
might...
gentlemen, please keep your arms
Yeah.
and legs inside the tram at all times. It will be a 72-minute
Yes.
ride.
So yes. So again, so bear with us again. I think this is an awesome opportunity. Is if you can't make it out there, drive out there, or stay, or whatever. But we still want you to come. And still, people want to support. I think that's the thing is people still want to support you in this endeavor and support us. Anyway, so I'll shut up now because we'll talk a little
that
bit
would
more
be
off
cool.
camera.
We got to do it.
Yeah. So we'll throw
We'll
a
get the
bunch
Marty bus.
Hey,
We'll
you know what?
We'll flip him an extra dollar. He'll drive to
Look,
Arcadia.
I've got a pickup truck. How many people can fit in the back of a pickup truck, right? So I don't know. Jose, can you tell me how many?
Depends on how old they are.
Well, that's not appropriate.
How the hell would I know?
Yeah, that was.
Wow, this is inappropriate. All right, let's end this show here before we run out of medalla and Jose gets violent.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this episode number 50. My name is Kevin McLaughlin, and this is...
Paul Robertson.
We are here on the Riffs and Rhythms podcast with special guest J.J. Rivera. Love you, man.
Love you guys.
All right, so thanks for tuning in, everybody. So I am Paul again, and I'm the Rhythm, and
And I am Empty, and my name is Kevin McLaughlin. I am here to show that the riffs are better.